How you doing, everyone? My name is Gary St. Fleur. I'm reporting from you live from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Um, I also run Save Scranton, SaveScranton.com. And this is going to be my new YouTube channel where I discuss things that are going on in Scranton and whatever else comes to mind. Now, in order to begin this, I should probably begin with a little tidbit about who I am, where I'm from, and my whole spiel. I'm originally from New York City, Brooklyn, New York to be exact. I grew up there for most of my life. Only recently living outside of New York City for the first time for this long. Did a brief stint in college, but came back to New York City, and ever since then stayed put. Um, Graduated from Brooklyn College, accounting major, and started my own nonprofit out of college with a classmate. Co-founded it, me and two other people. Since then, we've facilitated the trips of over 100 volunteers, and now we do a clinical intensive for med students who go to Haiti and actually create best practices and offer some help in the clinics there. So I went to the local government and asked them if they required anything of me. I met two city councilmen who were more than willing to help me help them and it's local government. I came with the nifty idea that, by incorporating modern technologies into government, we can drive down costs, create more efficiency, which can read down more benefits to the taxpayer because the dollar goes further. At least that's the thought process. Now, while I'm there, I'm talking to the locals, and the locals are telling me that something is wrong with Scranton, that Scranton is the most corrupt place in America. Of course, I didn't take them seriously. I assumed that they were just being completely dramatic. So I went forth and continued as normal. But I kept hearing this. Like, why are you here? You should leave as soon as possible. This is where dreams come to die. And I did notice a couple of things, like how the government buildings were pristine and looked brand new, while the houses seemed downtrodden and blighted, and the businesses were also failing. The mall was a ghost town. And this is just me arriving last year in August. So the budget comes out, and when it comes out, I'm a bit perplexed. This is my first time ever looking at a budget from a municipality, and I was shocked, right? So what happened was that I noticed that it didn't balance, that you had costs increasing or the operating budget increasing without necessarily establishing where your revenue sources were coming from. And that's obviously a problem. And of course, I recognize that Scranton has been in distress status since 1992. And just in 2012, they were on the brink of insolvency, meaning that they had absolutely no money. So it's obvious that they should be driving down costs and making cuts. Raising taxes or trying to solve your debt issues through taxation is like trying to plug a hole in a ship by taking water and pouring it on the other side of the boat. It's really self-defeating. What the city needs is basically more commerce, more opportunities, people to come in and spend money, and also more opportunity for young people so that the 50,000 young people who do go to schools close by will stay here and live here and work here. The population, from what I understand, reduced from about 50%. So it went from 140,000 people to 176,000 people. 38% are in fixed income, one third are in poverty. This is not a situation where you can actually increase your budgets because the tax base is shrinking. It's basic economics. So I went to the city councilman and told him this, that the budget doesn't balance, the city doesn't have money, there's a $30 million hole, there's dubious revenue sources that are questionable, and that the city should definitely tell the people that they have no money and take the necessary steps forward when you realize you have no money. Same thing you do in your household when you realize you have no money. You basically make tough decisions. You say, hey, I got to make some cuts, no more filet mignon tonight, ground beef, something like that, to that effect. So I told him this. He told me that that can't be done, even though he agrees that the city does not have money and is in bad financial situation. He said he would not tell the people, and that was very strange for me. I was a bit naive, wide-eyed, and bushy-tailed. I said, "Why? Why won't you tell the people?" He said he can't do it. That's not how things are done here. He went on to tell me that Scranton was controlled by a political society, and that this society was based on ethnicity, and it's been like this since Scranton was Scranton. I was flabbergasted and shocked. I told him that, from my understanding, this is it was at the time 2015, and things are different. 20-year-olds are forming and founding billion-dollar enterprises. Mark Zuckerberg, Evan Spiegel, you know, who founded Snapchat. And I felt that with the new innovations that are coming through technology and new ideas and social networking, the world's more connected. Why are we following these old status quo procedures that will not create benefits? To put like this, think about it like this. When Thomas Edison created a light bulb, he introduced the notion of creating cities that had no electricity. In fact, Scranton was one of the first cities to have electricity, and that's why it's called the Electric City. Now, imagine that when light bulb was invented, the lamp industry, the oil lamp industry and the candle industry tried to block it. They said, no, we don't want electricity because what will, the lamp makers and the candle makers do? So you're stopping progress, which would benefit us all, create more opportunities, more commerce, more means to create wealth to keep the status quo, which actually creates poverty. And if you look at historically, in terms of civilizations or societies, why some are richer than others, it's this lack of adaptation and innovation that's observed. So I told him completely, this is the reality. We should definitely move forward towards being brave, being confident that solutions are there and available for us, and that we're gonna incorporate them and make Scranton strong. He said that's my reality, not his, and he would not do these things that I suggested. So he said, if you want to tell them, tell them. So I took him on it. I said, okay, I'll do it. I created a website, Save Scranton. I went through the budget with a fine tooth comb. I made known my feelings on the matter. And since then, I've been beating the same drum. Scranton does not have any money. Turning a blind eye to the realities of situation is how civilizations crumble. It's how corporations fail. It's how bad things happen. Truth is one of those things you should confront head on and deal with it. The more you deny it, the worse it becomes, because now, because you didn't deal with it, you have to deal with the other things that you've done instead of dealing with the truth. And this works for relationships, this works for marriages, this works for companies, this works for everything. Deal with the truth. So Scranton's truth is that the city of Scranton has no money. That's why they're selling these assets. That's why they're leasing parking garages, these last ditch efforts. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, Scranton has no money. Little money. Status quo. Doing the same thing over again, expecting different results. Albert Einstein called that being insane. And it is kind of crazy. Um, and that's my spiel. That's my story. And I think that in terms of why I feel so compelled to do something about it, it's the fact that I believe in the unity of mankind, in the sense that we're all in this together, no matter who you are or what you think. People have this notion that they're disconnected, that their families or their place where they live means that things outside of their immediate surroundings don't affect them. But that's not how the world works, especially if you live in a country. In America, we have an interconnected system. The country rises and falls with us, or we rise and fall with the country. The Great Depression made that known. The Great Recession in '08 made that known. And if we do not confront issues that loom in the horizon, we'll be in the same situation, if not worse. Like, what also got to me is that I just really dislike the idea of people getting taken advantage of. Maybe it's my background in Brooklyn, just being tough neighborhoods. I just dislike the notion that people are being exploited or that opportunities are being lost because someone wants to take more than their fair share. And it doesn't matter to me if it's a corporation, it doesn't matter to me if it's a government, it doesn't matter to me who's doing it. The fact of the matter is, it's not right. And I guess I have the sense of justice that we inherited something from our forebears, right? Those who came before us, they basically blazed a path so that we could obtain the things that we have today. I love this country. I believe that, especially my parents come from Haiti, and I've been there, the difference and the contrast of what it's like to have opportunity versus having no opportunity at all. And it's something I definitely appreciate and want to preserve. Thus, when I see a situation like Scranton, I only think that it reminds me of Haiti. It reminds me of a situation where the government becomes so corrupt that the opportunities and the livelihood of everyone else is then affected. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoy my first broadcast. I will be doing this every day, and I hope you stay tuned. And I look forward to hearing your comments, to meet you personally, or whatever. I think we should work together to make Scranton the best city it can possibly be. And the only way to do that is to think about the future, embrace change, and move forward. Thank you. Have a great day.